All right, well, thank you for joining us today. Thank you to both Moise and Bertha, but also thank you to those who are watching this edition of Fanmi Ansanm. This is our monthly series of interviews where we are featuring individuals who are either connected to Heartline, working for Heartline, working with Heartline, or maybe impacted by one of Heartline's pillars, which for this month would be maternal health care, and that's where we'll come to Bertha's story. We're joined by Bertha here, who is a artisan for Petite Palm, which is a organization located on the Heartline Education Employment Campus in Croix-de-Bouquet, Haiti. And Bertha will tell us a little more about what she does for Petite Palm, but her story is significant to us in that she has had a child through the Heartline Maternity Center, through the maternity program. And obviously, she is a great example of a mom and a family who are working through the programs that are available through the ministry. And that makes a difference, and that's something we want to share. And so welcome to those viewing, and especially welcome to Moise and Bertha. As you've seen before, Moise is here to interpret. He is the director of community outreach. He does student sponsorship work and a million other things for Heartline, and we wouldn't be Heartline without Moise. So thank you, Moise, for all you do and for making time for today. Appreciate you.
Welcome.
All right. Well, let's get started. So I guess the first question is, how long has Bertha been working for Petite Palm? How long has she been active with that organization?
Première question, Bertha, c'est combien de temps vous faites depuis que vous travaillez dans Petite Palm? Depuis combien de temps vous travaillez dans Petite Palm? Ça, c'est la première question. She has 4 years. Since 4 years, she's been working for Petite Palm.
Excellent. And what does she do there? Does she have particular responsibilities, or does she do a lot of different things?
Quelle responsabilité vous gagnez dans Petite Palm?
Responsabilité palme personnelle, c'est mettre couleur dans toute sa grille couleur, c'est sa responsabilité. Couleur.
Yeah,
c'est couleur parce que c'est lui-même qui premier à faire, moi plus habitué de lui.
Yeah, she said she really feel comfortable when she do colors.
Okay.
It's colors on things, whatever they brought to her, and she's really feel comfortable and to put colors on them. Some cover, especially some cover.
Oh, like for the babies, like a blanket?
Yeah, some cover, like cover. Over like cover for tables, cover for bed, something like that. She feel comfortable when she put colors in them.
Okay, understood. What does she find challenging about her work? Are there things that are harder for her that she's maybe learned over the 4 years that she's been an artisan there? What is a challenge for Bertha at Petite Palm?
Okay, disait ça, qui un défi ou gagner dans notre travail, et spécialement ça va faire dans Petite Palm qui défi ou gagner, qui bagaille, qui marque au plus comme défi pour gagner.
Pour défi moi gagner, c'est les gagnants l'autre bagaille qui vient dans notre profond.
Her challenges is first of all is when she has something new that come. And she didn't used to do it before. And that thing is like a challenge for her because she had to learn how to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Which tell her she's not alone. I that's I feel the same way, and I'm sure you do too. Does she have a particular favorite task or job that she likes to do specifically, or is it really just the bigger picture?
Okay. Est-ce que il y a un bagage spécial que vous aimez l'on fait, vous trouvez ambiance l'on fait? parmi tout bagay yo, nous connaissons grand petit bagay, tant que gen bracelet ou gen chaîne, gen drap, etc. Pas vrai? Et qui est là dans yo toujours pour prendre plus joie le wap fait.
Bon, gen bracelet qui pas difficile.
There are some bracelets, they are not difficult.
Enjoys making those.
Mhm.
Great.
And she loved that.
Oh,
Some
good.
bracelets when they come, they're not difficult, and she enjoy doing that.
Okay. Well, let's change topic a little bit. And could Bertha tell us a little bit about her family and who makes up her family at home?
On t'y parle, nous, de famille, comment famille est, etc. On t'y parle de famille.
Ok. Donc, ma maman, donc,
She lost her mother and her dad
Oh.
many years ago.
I'm sorry.
Mon quartier, moi, c'est un orpheline, sans grand-mère, sans grand-père, mon bagage, sœur, mais mon bien trois frères.
She can say she's like an orphan without mom and dad and no sisters, but she has 3 brothers.
3 brothers. Okay. And does she live with them now, or does she have, because I know she has some children of her own. So who makes up her home today? Who's in her household today?
Non, moi, je vais avec frère, je vais avec 2 petites mains, avec Marie.
Now she live with 2 children, her 2 children.
Ok. Première petite main, elle est Belandina Livolis.
Her first daughter name is Belangina. And
deuxième, c'est Ant.
And the second one is a boy. He's a boy. His name is 5 months. His name is Ants.
Ants. Okay. So her daughter was born at a local hospital, if I understand right, and her son was born at the Heartline Maternity Center. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's correct. Okay. So can she share with us maybe some of her thoughts on the difference in the experience? Well, first of all, you said the son was 5 months old. How old is her daughter?
2 years. She has 2 years.
Okay. So the girl, her daughter, was born in a hospital, and her son was born at the Heartline Maternity Center. What are some of the differences that she experienced in the 2 births? How was having a child born at the maternity center different than having a child born at the local hospital?
Qui différence qui gagne avec entre premier petit toi ou qui fait dans l'autre hôpital avec petite sœur qui fait dans et maternité là? Qui différence ou qui différence ou qui expérience ou fait des 2 côtés?
Bon, on dit quand même. Pour première petite moyenne, depuis dans le ventre, en gros 16 ans, et moi, il y a une petite difficulté de côté ma suivre, parce que moi, je suis à l'hôpital exactement suivre. Et puis, les pour m'accoucher encore, les mouver, déjà, on a une petite difficulté par rapport à Miss, la fonction infirmière.
Yeah, she can say her first child was a little bit more difficult than the second one. Because at the other hospital, she didn't find good nurses who would willing to take care of her. Sometimes she find a nurse, sometimes no nurses. So that's were very difficult for her, and what she experiences in her first child was very difficult. Mm-hmm.
When a woman is in a hospital in Haiti, having a child, it's still hard, even though you're in the hospital, it's still hard to find care in the actual hospital, even though you're there in a bed.
She said, yes, it's difficult to find people to take care of you, even though you are inside the hospital.
So a few years later, she is pregnant with her son, and she enrolls in the program at the Heartline Maternity Center. How did she hear about the Heartline Maternity Center? Was it through Petite Palm or from someone else?
Comment ça a été avec Heartline, deuxième petite que vous faites dans comment ça a été?
Bon, pour deuxième petite là, tout bagay était bien passé. Parce que moi, depuis en grossesse, j'étais pour mission, j'étais pension bien. Malgré pension, t'as monté haut, j'ai toujours aidé dans médicaments, et puis par ensemble avec m'aider à boire un pile d'eau. Et puis, tout bagay était bien passé, mais là où j'étais venu révéler une petite histoire, là où j'étais venu révéler pour accoucher, moi, j'ai dit non, moi, pour qu'on gagne douleur, moi, pour qu'on accoucher. L'islam dit, vini, et puis là, moi, vini, ouais. Moi, pas aucune douleur, moi, j'étais mission, fait mouvement ensemble avec, fait exercice. Et puis, moi, arrivé 24, là, j'étais dit mal couché, parce que je pas bien douleur pour me caler le balai. Et puis, là, moi, je viens de me dire, mes bébés ont sorti. Monsieur Stéphane dit, c'est pas vrai, pourquoi on a tranché? Et puis, là, elle est venue arriver, il était venu, si on a sorti, il venait aider, moi, pas même monter cabane.
Okay, and she said that's a really great story for her, and something that really happened in her life. The great thing happened in her life this time, and she said, and the second baby, she experienced many things. First over, all the she found nurses. All the nurses always take good care of her at the maternity center. They always give her good advices. They always help her and take care of her. That was very, very big difference from the other hospital and the maternity center. And by the time that she needs to give birth to the baby, she didn't even feel any pain. And the nurses call her and say, you need to come because your time is coming. You need to come, your birth is ready. And she didn't feel that. And since she was at the hospital, she was laid down and she felt the baby is coming, just coming without any pain. And she called the nurses and tell them, the baby is coming. The nurses was very surprised to see how God delivered her and imagine in a safe way. That was very encouraging for her.
Always two questions for you. One is, that's amazing that you got all that while she was, but more importantly, did I hear a bunch of gunfire while you were speaking?
I'm sorry?
I said, more importantly, did I hear a bunch of gunfire while you were speaking? Is that what was rattling in the background? It sounded like gunshots to me.
Gunshot.
Is that what I was?
Yes, it's a gunshot.
I'm so sorry.
It's a gunshot.
I'm so sorry that you have to live like that.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
It breaks my heart. You deserve so much better than to have to live in an environment where those gunshots are so close.
Yes, very close. It's just on the streets.
Yeah, it sounds like it's right outside your door.
Yeah, it's just outside the door right now.
Yeah.
It's like the police is trying to, but the thing is, we can enjoy only when the police is shooting. We know the police is shooting. That we are a little bit quiet. But when the gangs is shooting, that's scary.
Are you saying that
more
you're able
scary than the police, because the police know what they're doing, but the gang don't really know what they're doing.
You're able to tell the difference in the sounds of the guns, that you know that's the police?
Yes.
And that, yeah.
Yeah, the police, there's because they always listen to them. We can make a difference.
Yeah. It's no way to live, my friend. I'm so thankful.
That's my heart is like.
Well, I noticed that Bertha noticed it in her eyes, but you kept going.
Yeah. That's very sad down here.
Yeah, it makes my heart sad.
That's how we work here in Haiti.
I know, and you're all working so hard to make a better place for your kids and for your families, and you're doing it in the middle of almost a civil war.
Yeah.
It's just heartbreaking. All right. Well, so I think there's a huge disparity or difference between her first child experience, Bertha's first child, and then the second child born at the maternity center. And thank you for detailing that out, even amidst the gunfire. When she became pregnant, what kind of benefits, what did Petite Palm and her employer basically, and for those watching this, Petite Palm is located on our campus. They are they rent the space basically, and so on our campus we have these incubators of job creation and shared values, in this case family preservation and orphan prevention. And so Petite Palm is an employer, but the question for Bertha is, what did they do for her? How did they help her during that time? Things like maternity leave or her pay, and how is that different? Is that common in Haiti that a mom would get paid time off, and what kind of benefits did she receive? When she was pregnant with her daughter, or her son actually more recently, what were the benefits that she received at Petite Palm? How did her employer ensure that she was able to care for herself and her family during her pregnancy?
Okay. Et il m'a dit comment ça est, qui bénéficie, qui encouragement que jeune beaucoup d'employés dans Petite Palm, comment ils étaient grossesse, comment ils étaient aidés, supportés, comme on a du travail chaque jour, puis j'ai été supporté dans le travail pendant la grossesse.
Bon, pendant le grossesse-là, je te supporte bien.
Yeah.
Parce que moi, j'ai un jour dans le travail, je te demande pour me suivre l'hôpital, je te malgré le pays, je te supporte bien.
And she said the employees were great. They support her a lot. Even the Petite Palm support her too, because she has they give her one day break, and to be able to go to hospital. And even though they pay her the day, they give her the break day, but even though they pay her for the day, they really support her, give her opportunity to go to see doctors.
Excellent. So they and that's probably not very common in Haiti, is it? That
no
benefits like that?
That's not very common, because she worked day by day. So if you don't work a day, they don't pay you that day.
Right.
But
no matter what.
No matter what. But her case was special. Even though she's not working that day, they give it that day off. But they still pay her.
Yeah. For that. And you're not saying one day, you're saying the days that
yes,
she needed.
Yeah, once a week, c'est ça? Une fois par semaine? No, you're more congé. Yes, they give her 1 day a week.
So that she can go to clinic at the Heartline Maternity
Exactly, to be able to go to Heartline Maternity Center, and they pay her for that day, even though she's not coming.
Right. And then when she had her baby, did she receive additional time off that was paid so that she could? Yeah.
Yes, they give her 2 months.
Oh, love it. Okay. That's so important. And I'm so glad to hear that. I guess going back to the way that it's been in Haiti over the past few years and what we just experienced on this interview with the gunfire, how does Bertha and the team at Petite Palm handle the stress and the fear of living in this environment? Now more than ever, it seems like Croix Bouquet is the center of a lot of gang violence and insecurity. How does she and the team at Petite Palm handle that every day? What kind of things do they do to stay positive and healthy?
Yeah, et qui sont faits pour toute violence, bien Haïti, gang, etc. Comment nous-mêmes, dans Petite Palm, nous fait pour nous rester avec un esprit positif, malgré les situations difficiles? Comment nous fait pour nous rétablir un esprit positif?
Malgré les antiquités, parfois nous travaillons, nous résilions, mais parfois, quand c'est vraiment difficile, nous ne pouvons pas venir, surtout quand nous avons pas d'émission, nous sommes obligés de quitter Caïman, nous sommes avec une personne.
Yeah, she said, even though things is difficult, sometimes gunshots on the streets and people always scary, they always do effort, a lot of effort to come here, to come to work. But sometimes, she said, in her case, sometimes it's very, very, very difficult for her to come to work because she lives in Mission. And you know, Mission has a big problem lately. Recently, they have big fight between the gangs. So she had to leave her house to go and live somewhere else because she couldn't stay in her place because of the fighting of the gangs. So, but even though of that, she always come. Sometime when she find the opportunity, she always come into work at the, even the other workers, they do the same thing too, to come to work.
Yeah. So she lives in Mission, and
Yes.
in Mission, the fighting is just as bad, and she's had to relocate her family from time to time for their safety.
Yes.
Not to mention to then come to work in Bouquet, which has also got its share of violence.
Yes.
Yeah. What is Bertha's hope for Haiti? What does she? I mean, maybe that's too profound or too big in a maybe that's too big of a question when she's just trying to make sure she cares for her family. But what would she like to see in the coming years? What would her hope be?
Yeah, qui espoir gen pour Haïti, qui espoir gen pour moun ka viv Haïti, et qui espoir gen pour demain, comme on wè, qui sont wè, comme on wè.
Pour espoir pour Haïti, changement, il y a un changement, et puis pour demain, pour Haïti, on va poser. Pour demain, puis bon demain.
The changes she would like to make is the peace in Haiti. And people, Asian people would live in peace.
Yeah.
And you know, and for the future, things will be so much different in Haiti, and everyone will have peace in mind.
Yeah. Does she remember a time of peace when she was younger, that it felt like things were a little calmer, or no? Has it always been this way for her?
Est-ce que l'autre est jeune, l'autre est timide, l'autre est plus jeune, est-ce que tu connais les difficultés ça y est? Est-ce que tu es plus en paix que je dis à que tu as?
Bon, par rapport aux gens que nous avons vu, moi, vraiment pas compris. Mais, les différents, par rapport à ça, m'a suivi, je dis, c'est bas, on a mouru, on fait trop.
She said in her teenage age, she wasn't in peace because of the way she lived and the bad conditions she lived. She wasn't in peace, she wasn't feel peace in her mind. But today is very complicated because some things is different type of things happen because big gun, fighting, shooting. So those scary, very give her problem, made big differences. And like when she was little girl.
Yeah. So I'm assuming what I'm hearing, she grew up poor, and so she didn't have peace because they didn't have their bare necessities. And now as an adult, she's obviously got a good job and things of that nature, but now we have this unrest in the streets and the violence. And so both are problems. Both problems. Yeah.
Both problems.
Well, I guess before we finish, is there anything that she would like to share, that Bertha would like to share? One of the purposes of having these calls is that I want Heartline donors and the folks who watch these interviews to hear from the people that make a difference every day.
Et bon, ça m'a carrément partagé pour employer de l'hôpital. Moi, remercie mon qui font de l'hôpital pour nous. Et moi, parler de l'hôpital à l'autre amis. Et même si que moi qui transporté mon qui pas de place. Moi, féliciter monsieur en pile de bien de patience. Il a aidé toute maman et moi j'ai une bonne information petit comment on va manger, comment on aider, comment moi à vivre notre famille.
Okay. And she would say a big thanks, especially for the people who start the maternity center, because she said at the maternity center, she really find a place where the nurses are very, very great. And they always take good care of her, always give her big advices, how to feed the baby, how to take care of the baby. There's so many things going on. And she tells other people about the maternity center, and she has some friends she brings to maternity center to take care of, because she feel very in a good place on that thing. So that's a special things you would like to share and saying things to the people, to Heartline and the people who start the maternity center.
Well, I will make sure I share that with them as well. And I will also make sure that when we post this video, that we post a link to Petite Palm, so that folks that are watching this can shop there and purchase products that Bertha has had a part in making, and her hard work and invest in families in Haiti through Petite Palm. Well, I can't thank you enough. It's so important that we share these stories and that people get to know folks like Bertha and folks like you and the people on the ground that are making a difference every day in circumstances that are challenging at least, but so much more. And I am so very grateful. So please extend our thank you to Bertha, and well wishes for safety and good health, and that we appreciate her very much. And thank you, Moise, for taking the time to do this interview.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll talk again soon.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, have a great day.